Okay, let's talk about it. Um, my ex-husband, well, he's not my ex yet. We've been separated for about a year. Um, we separated due to his return to drugs and alcohol. Um, to be fair, when I found out he'd gone back to drugs and alcohol, I started drinking and smoking weed again. And I've never missed a day of work because of it. Um, it's just not what I do, you know. 41 years old, and it's grown-up time. He got into meth. Um, he was into it when he was young. And that is the reason that my first husband was able to take our 4 children. So, he's been partying, irresponsible. He doesn't provide for the children. He doesn't help me at all. Anytime he had any contact with me, up until last October, when I cut off all contact, was violent, was derogatory, screaming, fighting. My children saw all of this. He just kept getting more and more irate and justified in his crap-ass behavior. His excuses are, it's my life, I can do what I want. When we were still living together, and he was acting that way, I was at work, and he was at home, doing drugs with the neighbor girl, and neglecting my children. I'd come home to him passed out drunk. Regularly. My children either outside by themselves or doing their own thing around the apartment. Lord knows he didn't know where the hell they were or what they were doing. They weren't safe. It wasn't safe. I wasn't safe. Every dollar I earned, he took out of our joint account to get booze, and if we didn't have money, he'd steal it. And this is the man, after I found Coke in his laundry, and I'm not talking about Coca-Cola. I found cocaine, a vial, an empty vial with powder in it, in his laundry. He was doing this shit around my babies, not Karen. What happened? Thinking he can do whatever he wants because he's an adult. Fuck my life. So I cut off all ties, and there was a no contact order. And his mama got a hold of me. She was like, can I take the kids every other weekend? I told her, yeah. But you need to understand, there's a no contact order with Rick. And I know that you're going to break that. I know you are. Just don't let him take them anywhere because he is not safe. And she didn't fucking believe me. But a couple of months after he's been going there, I come to find out they're finding whiskey and booze and drugs in his fucking clothes and in his basket and in his bag. Our 7-year-old son, who is 8 now, found whiskey in his bag after his mother specifically said, you're here to visit these children, not to drink. You don't have booze here, you don't have drugs here, and you don't bring your friends here. What'd he do? He hid booze at his mama's house. He did drugs. He had his friends over. As a matter of fact, his mother's house was shot at, and 5 bullets were shot directly into her home in February. Tell me, how in the hell a little old lady living with her little old lady sister oh, my phone's getting too hot. Has apparently made enemies enough so that she gets her house shot up. Let's see. Jeremy's 41. She was 15 when he was born. So 41 add 15. That's what? 51? She's 56 years old. What does a 56-year-old woman do that lives in Wayland, who doesn't do drugs, who doesn't drink, doesn't party? What's she doing that she gets her house shot directly at? Directly into the living room and the bedroom that my children were sleep in when they're over there. Please make it make sense. So, on with this. She stopped allowing him to spend the nights there when she had the kids. I fully supported that, told her he's dangerous. I told you this lifestyle is dangerous. And so it's been a couple months, obviously. It's June. She had them for the first week of summer break, and while she had them, he went and took them from her home. I have sole legal and physical custody of our 2 sons. That was established before my daughter was born. I do not have custody of my daughter. I don't have. And you think that sole custody affords you a little bit of leeway, and you would think that a no contact order would afford you a little bit of help, but let me explain something to you ladies. Protect yourself, because all it is a piece of paper to throw at him. And pray you're sane enough while your uterus is trying to tear its way to your children. Pray that you're sane enough to stop yourself from doing what we all know you want to do. And take a step back and do it legally, slow as it is. I have to wait until Monday to go to Kent County Court, file for divorce and emergency custody of my daughter, and then I have to drive to Stanton to Montcalm County Court to file for, I don't know, immediate enforcement of the custody order. I don't know what I have to file to get my sons back, or to charge that man with kidnapping, because that's what it is at this point. And I don't know what I have to do to charge her as well. But anything that I can do, I will do. Because you fucking stupid. Oh, whoops. There is just so fucking very much rage happening in me right now that I am petrified of myself. Because I keep driving past that fucking meth house that he has my kids in on the west side. That's positively trashed. My daughter hasn't had her hair brushed in God knows how long. It's a rat's nest. Days, I'm sure. I'm sure as long as he's had her. He had my 10-year-old crying, hugging him, telling me, Mom, if we can't go with you, because if we go with you, you'll never let us see him again. What doesn't he understand what he's doing to them? Why doesn't he understand that I never said a cross word about him to our children? Why would he put that on my 10-year-old son, who is going through so much right now, that he has told the school therapist that he just wants to die because the emotions are too big to handle? Why would he do that to him? He told me to ask them. I said, absolutely not. I will never do to our children what you are doing right now. What's it gonna do to Ricky? To his fragile mind, who doesn't know how to deal with big emotions, so he threatens to kill himself? What's it gonna do to him when he realizes that his father has pitted him against his mother, and his mother is the only one who has always had his best interest at heart? He's not strong enough, and it's going to kill him. And that son of a bitch did it. And there's nothing I can do until Monday morning. My makeup was gorgeous. So all I can do until Monday morning is print off the custody agreement, print off the PPO, and anything that I have from his probation officer. Try to get the CPS report yet again, because that in itself states that he's been witnessed by several county workers looking like an unfit parent. And it's not that I don't want him to never see his kids again, okay? Trust and believe. If anybody knows how much a little girl needs her daddy, it's me. I never really had one that was there for me the way that I needed to be. So I decided when I had kids, no matter how hard it was, I was going to figure out what they needed from me to feel loved. And I was going to do it because not one of my dads could. Not one of them could figure out how it was that I needed to be loved and love me that way. And you see me in all my broken ass glory. Thanks, dads. I have excellent taste in men. I have extraordinarily healthy habits when it comes to boundaries. My work ethic I got from my mother, so don't even. And there's literally nobody that I can talk to about this shit. So I am sitting in my truck at the park, faced away from the playground because I can't stand the sight of children. Because I should have mine. Because my babies should be losing me in the Children's Museum. I should be panicked right now because Zechariah Michael doesn't want to go down the slide and he's not going to wait, so he runs off to the bubbles without us. It's the only panic I should have in my heart right now. I haven't really been able to cry about this since it started. I guess I really needed this confessional. Parental alienation ain't no joke. The fact is, I was not prepared. I did not know how to prepare myself or my children the first time this happened. My first husband took my children. I didn't know how to protect myself. I didn't know how to get them back. I guess Rick should have remembered that. I went through a lot. I learned a lot. I guess now I gotta use all of that knowledge. And at least now I know exactly what he's doing. And you know, it's really hard to prove parental alienation, they say. But not if you catch it early and keep the signs focused. So if anybody knows any, lawyers willing to help me out, police officers, whatever, willing to help me out. The man's got a warrant out of Ionia and they won't pick him up because he's not in the city. I mean, somebody just want to go snatch him up off the street, throw him in your trunk, bring him to Ionia. Cool with this? Pray for me, y'all, because I am not okay. It's going to take a lot. Oh, don't worry. Another one of the first things happening on Monday is the YWCA is getting called so that me and my children can get in therapy as soon as I get them back, which I anticipate will not be long.